fastest show in sports.
Just one. One good right hand. Bang. One good right hand and over. And maybe, if luck is with us, if the gods are following us, we are done with Jake Paul in professional boxing. Finally, the train wreck that everybody was waiting to see. And let's be honest, the only reason that anybody paid for any fights for Jake Paul, when, of course, you could pay for them before they wound up on Netflix, the only reason anybody paid to go to one of these events is because they were waiting to see Jake Paul get clocked. And he did. Anthony Joshua did exactly what a professional boxer should do, which shows you, and proves once again, that every single fight Paul has had leading up to this one was a farce. I mean, old-time champions, guys well past their prime. Mike Tyson? I mean, that's a fight? That's not a fight. That's getting ready to see if Mike needs his diapers changed or if he's going to use his walker to get around the casino. I mean, Jake Paul did, I give this much to Jake Paul. He did a brilliant job, he and his handlers, of suckering in the people who would fall for just complete idiocy like this. Because again, that's what everybody was waiting to do. They wanted to see Jake get his clock cleaned. Not only is his jaw broken in 2 places, but he lost a couple of teeth. I mean, look, I'm laughing about it, and people are going to say, Ed, how can you do that? The poor guy's been maimed. He put himself in that position. He put himself against one of the better boxers in recent memory, and he got killed for it. That's exactly what happens. He became the sock puppet for the night against Anthony Joshua, and Joshua took full advantage of it. It was brilliant to see. If you haven't seen it, and we're not going to play it because then we get in legal issues, you can see where Joshua just beat him. The one right hand, and you could tell that was the one that cracked the jaw. That was one of the most brutal punches I have seen in boxing in so many years. So now, here we go. Aftermath, epilogue, if you will. Jake Paul has now been defeated soundly. He is not a boxer. He's not even close. He's not trained as a boxer. He doesn't work out as a boxer. And if you talk to anybody who has seen him train or anybody who has seen him move around a ring, he is a clown show. He has none of the finesse, none of the craft, none of the great skill that good professional boxers have. He's a farce. He's a show. That's all he is. He's the sideshow. So your sideshow is now done. Your sideshow has had his ass kicked beautifully. Walk away. Here's where we're at. And I say this because I'm a boxing fan. I always have been. I mean, I go back to the years of Ali, Frazier, Holmes. I mean, great fighters. Great fighters. Holyfield, Duran, Sugar Ray. I mean, I grew up in that era. And that was when boxing was at its best. Now it is a shadow of itself. Boxing is just a bunch of clowns walking around trying to get a couple of paydays here and there. But now, boxing has a chance to recover because for the last few years, boxing has been held in the grip of Jake Paul. What is Paul going to do? What's he going to do next? Oh, he's going to put something out on Instagram. He's going to have something on X. He'll have something on a live stream. That's what it's all been about. It's all about this preening and these stupid faces he makes. People look at him because they want to get a good laugh. The laugh is over. And now boxing has got to separate, divorce itself from Jake Paul completely. And I don't know if they can do it. About 6 months ago, I asked around to a couple of friends of mine, great friends in boxing, who know the game inside and out. I said, I want you to come on my show, and we're going to talk about Jake Paul. Well, what are we going to talk about? Oh, we're going to hammer him. Well, what do you mean you're going to hammer him? I said, come on. This is idiocy. This is idiocracy is all this is. This guy has no business being inside a ring. And boxing that has taken a huge dive in the last decade. You need great fighters. You need great fights in order to come back. You don't need this nickel and dime showman to basically come in here and stir up interest. Because it's not interest in real boxing. I mean, we went back and forth on these conversations for a while. And I said, I still want you to come on the show. I had 3 people, 3, very respected, you would know their names, who I asked to come on this show. And talk about Jake Paul honestly, and all three refused. Why? One of them made it very clear to me that they didn't want to be involved in a show that would denigrate boxing. I was told all you want to do is make fun of boxing. No, I want to bring some truth into all this. That it's not worth it. It's not real boxing. It's not real fighting. And I was told no, because all you're going to do is you're going to stir things up. And I'm not going to get involved in that, because my friends will come back to me then and they'll be angry at me because Jake's out there. He keeps boxing in the forefront. He makes money. People are watching boxing only because of Jake Paul. And that's the problem. That's what I told him. I said, you just hit on the single biggest reason why boxing is failing. Because boxing refuses to give us great fights, great fighters, and have some sort of order to it, if you will. Instead, all they're doing is throwing in these garbage fights, these tomato cans, just to get people out there and make a buck, make a pay-per-view dollar, put it on cable, get some more social media clicks. And this person said to me, well, I'm okay with that. And I thought for a moment, and then came back. I said, you are one of the finest boxing people I know. Why would you not want to help your sport climb out of the gutter? Because that's where it is. With people like Jake Paul, with these nickel and dimers running around basically making a farce of it, why would you do that? He said, you know the answer. To which I came back and I said, your friends are making money, aren't they? And there was silence on the end of the phone. Silence. Because I had struck on it. What we have is a hierarchy in boxing that is being run by these old toads, these fogies, if you will, these farcicals, these fakers. These are the ones sitting at the top and making decisions in boxing. And they don't give a damn about good, solid competition. If they did, no one in their right mind would have sanctioned Jake Paul getting into the ring against Mike Tyson. Nobody would have done it. They would have disallowed it completely. In the old days, if you will, that fight would not have happened. Neither would really any of Jake Paul's fights. But because they brought people to boxing, even for all the wrong reasons, the people who lead the sport right now don't want to change it. As a matter of fact, Paul's already talking about his next fight. He's going to be out of action at least 6 months. He's got his jaw broken in 2 places. He lost a bunch of teeth. But he's already talking about coming and putting on social media, I'm coming back. Here's my next fight. And the boxing people are loving it because they see him as a savior. What in the name of sweet boxing Jesus is wrong with you? He's part of the problem. Jake Paul is right now the single biggest problem with boxing. Because I'll tell you what, the MMA, UFC guys and gals, the ones with the big fans, they go into an event, they know who the players are, they know who they are, they know that they're worthy of being there. They're not putting in these soft shoers, if you will, the tomato cans. They're putting in real, honest fighting. And whether or not you like MMA, and I don't, not a fan. I consider it human cockfighting. But in the same breath, they're putting real, live, solid competition on the screen, in the ring. And that's what fans are going for. Boxing now has this long, drawn-out history of more than a decade of putting nothing more than bullshit in front of the fans and asking them to pay for it, asking them to believe that this is boxing. They don't bring up the young fighters because the promoters all want to make the bucks how they want to make it. It's still one of the greediest, most graft-ridden sports in the world. In the world. Because of all the noses that run sports or run boxing just because they want to make a buck. It's why I don't watch it. I'm a fan. I'm looking for boxing. I want to watch it. I want to see great fights. Haven't watched it? I'm sure as hell I did not watch the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight. I had something better to do. I had to go to a golf cart parade, golf cart Christmas parade in 30-degree weather. I would rather be there than sitting watching this farce, this joke, this absolute piece of shit thrown out in front of me. Netflix made money, Jake Paul made money, Joshua made money, everybody made money. But hopefully, knowing full well that the leaders in boxing don't care. They don't care about good fights. They don't care about putting up good competition. They don't care about fostering younger competition around the world. I mean, basically that's all gone these days. So if they don't care, the only answer is you, the fan. The boxing fan needs to stop watching. Stop buying it. Stop going. Stop buying tickets. If it's a pay-per-view, don't buy it. Even if it's not a pay-per-view. If it's on Netflix, don't watch it, because one way or the other, you're paying for it. Stop putting money in the pockets of these crooks, these criminals, these grifters who have just taken the sport and made it a laughingstock. It's the only way to do it. If the money starts to drop, then somebody's going to make a decision. Maybe we got to put in better fighters. Maybe there are better fights to be had. Remember the old days when there'd be like 6, 7, 8 fights on a card, and it would be okay. At the early fights, you'd get a couple of charlatans down at the bottom. You get a couple of tomato cans. But as the night went on, you were getting better fighters and better fighters and better fighters, and then you get up to a title fight, or you get up to something that actually is worth watching. You don't have that anymore. When was the last time you actually got excited about a fight? No, seriously. This is not going to work for everybody, because the people who are not fans of boxing are not going to even look at this. But I'm saying, those of you who are fans, when was the last time you saw a fight that you really got excited about a fight? And not only that, how many times has that been in the last year, 2 years, 5 years? Not many. And a lot of the fights that are put up by the promoters are fights that don't deserve to be there. They're just made up for quick shots at the buck. And the reason they keep doing it is because you, the fight fan, keep buying into it. You're suckers. You're being suckered every single day. MMA, and I'll give you this about MMA, at least they're honest. Boy, I don't believe I said that out loud. But at least they put up solid competition. Real fights. I don't like it. I don't watch it. But they're entertaining that way. That's how they've managed to take everything out of boxing, deflate boxing completely. Because boxing is still run by crooks, gamblers, criminals, nickel and dimers. I mean, these guys who basically are out there just to make a buck, and they don't care how it's made, at the expense of the sport. Ruin the sport, they don't care. Because there are suckers out there who will continue to buy these nonsense fights and continue to watch this bullshit like Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua simply because you want to see the train wreck. Okay, you've seen the train wreck. There it is. The train wreck is sitting right there. There's the picture of that moment in the train wreck. It's done. Out. Walk away. Stop. Or let's just put boxing out of its misery once and for all. That's something else my friends would not appear on the show with me for. I said it's time to put boxing out of our misery. They said, I can't say that out loud. I can't agree with that. Why not? I'll be hammered. I'll get a tremendous amount of grief from my friends. They'll all be after me for that. I can't come out and say that. Yeah, but it's true. I know it's true. Wait, you what? I know it's true. But I can't do it because this person still has prestige, still has a reputation, and still makes money from the sport. He wants to continue making a buck from the sport. So they will continue to drive boxing into the dirt as far as they possibly can. This fight is the end. This is the dirt. This is just one step above seeing a couple of guys go at it in a bar somewhere wearing basically motorcycle gloves that have no protection on them whatsoever and just watching them beat the shit out of each other. This is just one step above that. Joshua toyed with him for 4 rounds. 5th round knocked him down. 6th round crushed him. Joshua could have pulled the trigger and won this fight at any time. And if you watch Jake Paul, he's one of the most technically terrible boxers I've ever watched. No footwork, no hand speed, no actual work above the body, no actual juke and move. I mean, he's got nothing. He's got nothing. He's a social media influencer who's in it for the clicks. And the knuckleheads out there give him the clicks that he wants, and he makes money off it. So, boxing fans, make a choice. Either leave this alone, make this the end, make a stand, stop there, right there, and say that's it, no more. Or go ahead and continue on. Watch the sport denigrate. Watch MMA and UFC get more fans and make more money and basically take over where boxing has been. It's just about there now. Boxing may not be dead, but it's been on life support for years. And maybe it is time to plow boxing under, once and for all. Maybe it's time just to go ahead, relegate it to third or fourth sport you'd watch, put guys out there outside under an awning, and let them just beat the shit out of each other. Maybe that's what the fans want. If that's the case, go ahead. You lose me. You lose boxing fans. And you're never going to be an important sport again. That's the thing. Jake Paul has made boxing unimportant. It's useless. It's not even a sport worth watching. It's not a sport worth spending money on. Okay, I can hear the purists out there going, well, you know, we do have fights every now and then that are good. Yeah, okay. Once a year? Twice a year? Nobody pays much attention to the lower divisions anymore. My old buddy Bert Sugar is sitting in heaven right now just chewing on a cigar and shaking his head over what has become of boxing. But, okay, maybe that's where the sport is. Maybe we need to just walk away. Boxing, I want to thank you. You've driven me away. I don't watch you anymore. I don't follow you anymore. I don't care, because I love a competitive sport, and what you're giving me now is a cartoon show. Maybe I'll come back one day. Maybe I won't. But for right now, you're out. I'd rather go watch hockey. At least in hockey, when two guys fight, I know it's an honest fight.
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.